90% of what we worry about never actually comes to pass. Yet, day in and day out, we spend countless hours, days, and even years trapped in the maze of our own anxious thoughts. Our minds seem to always be tuned to a station that plays a never-ending loop of worst-case scenarios, reminding us of the mistakes we've made in the past and amplifying the fears of what might happen in the future. But what if I told you that some of the greatest thinkers in history had already figured out how to stop this cycle? That there is a way to change the channel, to stop being consumed by worry, and to finally start living fully in the present? Today, we're diving into Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers practical wisdom on how to break free from the chains of anxiety and embrace a more peaceful and purposeful life. Stoicism isn't just some abstract theory. It's a way of living that was championed by philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, who faced real-life challenges just like we do. These Stoics weren't content with simply pondering life's mysteries. They found ways to apply their philosophy to the complexities of daily existence, and in doing so, they discovered the secret to lasting peace of mind. So, let's explore the Stoic approach to worry. We'll uncover how their lessons can help you stop stressing over things you can't control, focus on the present moment, and ultimately begin to live with purpose and tranquility. Understanding the Stoic mindset. The Stoics believed that the root of human suffering lies in our attachments to things outside our control. From the smallest irritations to the biggest life events, we often spend our time worrying about outcomes that are completely beyond our influence. The Stoics argue that this is where we go wrong. Take, for instance, Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who found himself in the midst of wars, personal loss, and the pressure of ruling an empire. He wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound statement encapsulates the core Stoic lesson. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. When you start worrying about things that lie beyond your influence, you're feeding into a cycle that only intensifies your stress. But by applying Stoic principles, you can learn to distinguish between what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and reactions, and what you cannot, the behavior of others, external events, or the passage of time. This shift in perspective alone can help you let go of worries and start living with greater ease. The Dichotomy of Control, what you can and cannot control. One of the central ideas of Stoicism is the Dichotomy of Control. The Stoics teach us that there are two categories of things in life: those that are within our control and those that are not. The former includes our actions, judgments, desires, and emotions. The latter encompasses everything else, from other people's actions to the weather or global events. The Stoic sage understands that there is no point in worrying about the uncontrollable. It's simply a waste of time and energy. In fact, this is one of the most profound shifts you can make in your own life. Rather than exhaust yourself with anxiety over events that may never happen, you can focus your energy on mastering your own reactions and decisions. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoics, was born into slavery, yet he rose to become one of the greatest teachers of his time. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This teaching is critical for overcoming worry. Life may throw obstacles your way, but the only thing that truly matters is how you choose to deal with them. When you practice the dichotomy of control, you begin to free yourself from the mental burden of trying to manipulate the uncontrollable. Instead, you channel your energy into what you can change: your own thoughts, attitudes, and actions, cultivating acceptance. The art of embracing. What is another powerful Stoic practice is the idea of radical acceptance. The Stoics didn't just advocate for controlling what you can. They also emphasized the importance of accepting what you cannot. This might sound counterintuitive at first, especially when we're used to fighting against the things we dislike. But in reality, acceptance is a key to freeing yourself from worry. Seneca, a Roman statesman and philosopher, wrote extensively about the need to accept the inherent uncertainties of life. He said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." So much of our worry is rooted in imagined scenarios. We fear the worst without ever knowing if it will come to pass. The Stoics teach us to acknowledge the impermanence of life, that things will change, and that we must adapt to those changes with grace. This doesn't mean passivity or resignation. Rather, it means recognizing that some events are simply out of our hands. If we can learn to embrace the uncertainty and flow with life, we free ourselves from the grip of worry. Focus on the present moment. One of the most effective ways to stop worrying and start living is to focus on the present moment. When we're consumed by anxiety, we are either dwelling on past mistakes or fearing future events. But the only moment we truly have is now. The Stoics understood this principle deeply, often reminding themselves to live with mindfulness and presence. Marcus Aurelius's meditations are full of reminders to live in the present. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This simple advice can transform the way you experience life. When we learn to be fully present, we stop obsessing over things that happened in the past, or things that might never happen in the future. Instead, we can appreciate the richness of the moment, free from unnecessary worry. A simple exercise to practice this is to check in with your surroundings. What do you see, hear, smell, or feel right now? Focusing on these sensory experiences brings you into the present moment, where worry can't survive. Practicing negative visualization. One of the most intriguing Stoic practices is negative visualization. The idea behind this practice is to regularly imagine the worst-case scenario in order to appreciate what you have in the present moment. By contemplating loss or hardship, you train yourself to be more resilient and to realize that even the most difficult circumstances can be handled with courage and wisdom. For example, Seneca advised, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In other words, when we let go of the constant craving for more, whether that's more money, more success, or more security, we can live more peacefully. Negative visualization helps us realize that our greatest fears are often not as devastating as we imagine, and it can even help us appreciate the things we have in life. Living. According to nature, the Stoic path to peace. For the Stoics, living a virtuous life meant living in harmony with nature. This is not just nature in the sense of the environment, but the natural laws of the universe, understanding our role within the grand scheme of things. By recognizing that we are part of a larger, interconnected world, we can align ourselves with a sense of purpose and acceptance. Stoics understood that their individual desires were often in conflict with the greater good. They strived to align their actions with the well-being of society and nature, recognizing that by accepting life's natural flow, they would experience less conflict and anxiety. This connection to nature brought them peace, knowing that they were playing their part in the world's unfolding story. Conclusion: embracing a worry-free life. The wisdom of Stoicism offers us a timeless guide to overcoming worry and living a more fulfilling life. By practicing the dichotomy of control, accepting what we cannot change, focusing on the present moment, and using negative visualization, we can gradually free ourselves from the grip of anxiety. The Stoics remind us that happiness is not found in the external world.